open discussion after our presentation. We have Luba on the call. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, KV. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Databricks webinar on the impact of data and AI on the next wave of retail. My name is Ankita, and I work as a data engineering lead at Novigo Solutions. We're super excited to have you here. Now, before I begin, I would like to let you know that today's session is recorded, and we'll be sharing it later for you to go back and refer. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to type the questions in the chat box, and we'll make time at the end of the session to pick the questions and answer those. So joining us today are two amazing data enthusiasts. So when I say amazing, I mean it. So what is special about them is both of them are data driven and they're passionate about using advanced analytics in solving the most challenging business problems. Let's welcome Hari Krishna Pai and Sunil Shankara. Hari and Sunil, so good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. And without further ado, let's quickly kick off this webinar. So the agenda for today is Hari and Sunil will help you learn your way through the wave of data and then followed by a knowledge sharing session on Databricks. Over to you, Hari.
Yep. Thank you, Ankita. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Hi, glad that you joined this session. So we'll be speaking about the impact of data and AI on the next wave of retail. So before we begin, a little bit about ourselves. We are a digital-first IT consulting services company. We are headquartered in Dallas, Texas, with offices in Saudi Arabia, Singapore, UAE, and India. We are successfully serving 30+ clients across 20+ geographies. Our core offerings, among many, include RPA, low-code application development, CRM, and technology consulting. About me, I handle the data science effort at Novigo Data Labs. At Data Labs, we have had the opportunity to associate with some of the international majors and help them build analytical and AI services in our journey so far. Very quickly about our digital penetration, we have processed about 50+ terabytes of data for our clients. Our services are being utilized by 1,000+ stakeholders worldwide, and it's growing daily. Yeah. As a retailer, how would you utilize data to manage volatility and changing business headwinds to increase revenue? The retail sector, as we know, is at the cusp of a major transformation since the pandemic. The emergent post-pandemic environment has shed new light in the retail domain as the retailers worldwide are assessing how they do business. This past year alone has witnessed acceleration towards digital transformation at higher levels since the crisis. This makes it evident the importance of technology in retail business. To cite an example, according to a Gartner survey, 2/3 of the retail CIOs believe that the key to a winning strategy in retail is to embrace the latest technology to make shopping experiences more convenient. As the traditional habits of consumers have taken a backseat, the post-pandemic era has signaled new wave in consumerism and thrust digital interactions into the hyperdrive. Here, we highlight some of the transformations that are driving in retail. So first, digital ubiquity, personalized experiences, supply chain volatility, and rapid shifts in consumer behavior. We've seen omni-channel as a business strategy has picked up momentum since the past year and is gaining rapid adoption. Even as the situation has returned to the pre-pandemic levels, most consumers still have retained their usage of omni-channel features as part of their shopping experience. To handle this, retailers have to provide consistent customer experiences across all channels. In a data-powered world, an enhanced shopping experience for consumers means providing services at every touch point. This is clearly working as new entrants offering such services have registered a higher revenue growth. Today's consumers place a lot of value on ready availability, convenience, and personalized services. For example, in US alone, 46% of the users say they switch brands due to the availability of personalization. Regarding the supply chain volatility, the challenges brought in by inflation, rising logistic costs, and uncertainty in the supply chain has reduced the margin of the retailers, even as the companies that build resilient supply chain experience stockouts and bottlenecks. So due to these several oncoming unforeseen events, risks in the supply chain have risen, and this is impacting the business. What differentiates businesses that succeeded in riding this wave from others is their capability in identifying and understanding uncertainty and planning their inventory accordingly. The advantage of this new age consumerism is that the amount of consumer and purchase data will only increase, but it will operate differently than in the past and call for new capabilities and business models in this present scenario. So in this situation, how can organizations achieve their business goals? For long, brands have sought to entice the consumer to spend either through promotions, specialized prices and services, or loyalty bonuses. The two pillars of consistent success in enterprises are revenue growth and compliance. The main areas where retail organizations that have successfully pivoted their business focused are on planning and optimization, customer strategy, and commitment to sustainability. So here we highlight some of the most innovative data and AI approaches that can assist organizations in achieving their goals of revenue growth and compliance and to unlock value. Forecasting the demand and inventory planning of different brands and packs is important for retailers as well as e-tailers to provide the availability of their inventories at all times. And it is also important to keep track of the safety stock levels. This will ease the burden in procurement and distribution of the goods in the wake of the growing uncertainty. Now that omni-channel features are also trending, demand forecasting per channel is also becoming critical. Simultaneously, sellers must also ensure that they and their vendors still meet the delivery cycles or the on-time in full mandates so that products are available on the shelf to fulfill consumer demands. And this can be achieved using solutions like lead time analysis and prediction. Pricing analytics is another key use case. One of the most popular ways to boost and shape demand is by making the right bundle and promoting the right brands or services at the right price. All of this while keeping an eye on the price elasticity of each brand. The second initiative is customer strategy. Although it's important to acquire new customers, it's also imperative to understand the challenges that the existing ones are facing and reasons for inconsistent churn rates. Moreover, we must consider how they can be optimized for a specific product or service. Some of the useful solutions in this regard are customer profiling and assessment using advanced clustering methods, market basket analysis, and omni-channel lead prediction. These solutions, when used along with others like credit risk assessment and fraud detection, will help in developing a robust customer strategy. So these use cases have a holistic impact on the 5 dimensions of retail, namely products, consumers, occasions, channels, and competitors. For an organization, business strategy goes hand in hand with commitment to sustainability. Solutions like ECG analysis and intelligence, compliance risk assessment, and energy optimization will help an organization assess its commitment in real time and keep track of its sustainable goals. Capturing sales is very much a result of understanding your customer deeply. This entails using your data to create a complete 360-degree perspective of the customers and then utilizing those insights to provide reliable and accurate predictions of their needs. So at the core of all these initiatives is data and its effective usage. It is clear that a versatile data infrastructure that can support data sharing and collaboration and assist in making real-time decisions through analytics and also a wide array of AI solutions like demand forecasting, customer analytics, personalization, so on and so forth is the need of the hour. In the traditional architecture, data is dispersed across multiple systems or partially consolidated in on-premise infrastructure with limited scalability. In addition, most organizations use limited data and model standards, which makes it challenging to scale analytical use cases. So to know more, I'll hand over this presentation to Sunil. Over to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Hari. Hi, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this webinar. And thanks for setting the context here, right, Hari? Truly agree with all your points. And before we get into the need for modern data infrastructure and how retailers can actually leverage data and AI modern data platforms, let me introduce you to Databricks, the data and AI company. If you have not heard of us before, we are the inventors and pioneers of Data Lakehouse, which is a new category in itself. If you have followed the data, world recently, and we are basically the Gartner recognized leader in database management systems and machine learning platforms, recognized in 2021 by Gartner. Esteemed open source projects like Delta Lake, Apache Spark, and MLflow is something that we have created internally, and we have around 3,000, more than 3,000 employees across the globe, with over 6,000 customers around the world, in which you have seen some of them are Fortune 500 unicorns as well. So let me get into the cusp of this story. We have basically seen all these use cases around retailers and the need to leverage data and AI to basically come up with a solution for all these use cases. But what we have seen retailers is retailers struggle to use data and AI, and there are a few reasons and challenges. The first challenge that I would call out is the legacy data systems that aren't designed for real time. They are batch oriented, meaning they bring data in on a scheduled basis, and they have to do additional processing before data is available. When seconds matter, data warehouses deliver in minutes and hours. Secondly, it's merely enough to load data, and we want to act on it. It's not just loading data, right? But data warehouses aren't designed for large analysis. We either have to extract data and analyze on top of it, and we are greatly limited in terms of the analysis are the features that are available in data warehouses. When I ran forecasts in the past on a data warehouse, we had to limit the categories that we analyzed because of the limited time that we had, and also the optimal analysis would take a few days or many days to give us the outcome, right? And the third challenge that we come across mostly with data warehouses that were built a few decades back is about the type of data that we deal today in today's world, whether it's unstructured data, semi-structured data, and most of the data warehouses are not ready to process such data, and in some cases it becomes expensive and requires a lot of integrations with multiple tools using these data warehouses. And the last issue that I can think of is somewhat very unique to retail. Retailers need to collaborate across their value chain, but current systems are expensive, limited to big players, and we hear from customers who want to share their data with partners, but it would require separate data warehouse licenses for each partner, and when it has to scale across all these partners, it becomes impractical, right? There hasn't been a single system that can address these challenges so far, so we find retailers implementing many disparate systems and creating data silos in this process. So if you look at a typical data and AI maturity curve for any company, ultimately the company would like to be on the top right, right? So this is how the data and AI journey looks like from left to right. So if you see on the bottom left, you are basically looking at maybe your sales, typically a quarter back, how your company has performed, or maybe your performance around overall revenues in the last 6 months. But you are basically looking at what happened before, right? And then moving up in the stack, you'll see you have created certain reports, ad hoc queries, data exploration, and then when you have come across the modern in the new world, in the current situation, you would ideally want to have predictive modeling, prescriptive analytics, and automated decision making to enable you with what do you do when you come across a situation where you have to automatically make a best decision, right? So the innovators are actually on the right hand side of it. They are using data to predict the future, looking at how you behave or how the environment is behaving and reacting in real time. Are not just looking at data on the analysis side, but reacting in real time is what they are trying to do. So in terms of understanding this current situation, there are typically most of the customers or companies are implementing two different platforms to achieve this. So for their BI and data warehousing and analysis use cases, they are typically building data warehouses over the period of time in the last few decades. And in the modern world, they started using data lakes where they get to use cheap object storage using the modern CSPs, the cloud providers. And then you generally need data for both the systems to deliver really game-changing outcomes for you on cloud, which makes success with AI extremely difficult because these two are two different systems and there is no common model to basically come up with a common system to make this happen with AI. So that's where you see today's most of the data that is landing in data lake on the right, and it is a lot of it is unstructured. In fact, 90 to 95% of the data in any organization is unstructured. But this data is where a lot of value from AI is sitting. Then subsets of data are being copied to data warehouse and, into structured tables and then back again in the same in some cases, right? So you have to secure and govern the data in both. Warehouses offer really fine-grained governance, while lakes are more coarse-grained at file level. So that means you first duplicate your data, and that becomes copied into two different systems. Changes you make in one system may not come across or find their way into the other system. That means you may not have latest or fresh copy of data. So you are going to have data drift almost immediately, not to mention paying to store this data again multiple times. So you end up spending a large portion of budget maintaining the systems, integrations, and then moving back and forth between these systems, right? Then because there is no unified governance model governing this whole two different disparate systems, it becomes really difficult to control things consistently when you are building new platforms, new systems within your company. Finally, the tool stacks on top of these platforms are fundamentally different, like which makes it pretty difficult to get any kind of collaboration going between the teams. That means if you have BI, SQL, your data warehousing, data science, machine learning use cases for your customers, you would need a unified platform that would actually have all these use cases solved for you. And this is at the heart of why data and AI efforts fail. There is a tremendous amount of complexity, rework that's being introduced into the system because of these multiple systems, time and resources being wasted, and everything happening too slowly in front of your competitors. The ideal modern data and AI platform would operate differently. Rather than copying and transforming data into multiple systems, you would have one platform that can accommodate all data types. Ideally, a platform would be open, and at the same time, it can have walled gardens, right? But with a single security and governance model, which can handle all data types, and being cloud agnostic to govern your data across clouds, is something that can support all major data and AI workloads, so that your teams can easily collaborate, get access to all the data that you need to innovate. And this is where this architecture that comes up, and this new paradigm called Lakehouse that has come in. So it's the approach we as in Databricks have invested in to help customers deliver on their data and AI aspirations. So Lakehouse platform today can cater to all machine learning, SQL, BI, and streaming use cases. One security model with governance approach for all data assets on cloud, and an open and reliable data platform to efficiently handle all data types and data formats. So presenting to you the Databricks Lakehouse retail and consumer goods, which actually is in a way simple, open, and multi-cloud. Whether it's data warehousing use case, data engineering, streaming, or data science and machine learning, you will be able to have all of your data structured or unstructured in one place, which will bring reliability and extremely fast query performance to the data without leaving the lake, and with an open technology called Delta Lake. So Delta Lake being the foundation of Lakehouse, you can use it for data warehousing, or your data engineering, or machine learning, or data science use cases. And the next step, which you see here, the Unity catalog, which provides governance for all the data, and then gives a consistent model across all the data assets that you have in your platform, and then which gives you purpose-built tools to allow everyone to collaborate on the same data. So the advantages here are dramatically simplified data architecture for all your workloads, data warehousing, data science, ML, as well as data engineering and streaming. Secondly, the entire platform is built on open source and open standards. This means you have a lot of freedom in how you evolve your data strategy, without walled gardens restricting present and future choices, not to mention the vast community of talent that resides in open source community. And then you get a consistent experience across all your clouds. You don't need to wait in reinventing the wheel for every cloud that you are using to support data and AI efforts. Typically, you have seen customers are using multi-cloud strategies, trying to reach out to different markets across this globe, and that's where this unified platform across multi-cloud support comes in as very handy. So let me talk about a little bit about Lakehouse and how modern retail can be delivered through Databricks Lakehouse platform. So Databricks Lakehouse is designed to address specific needs and challenges that retailers face and accelerate their transformation to become data and AI company. Packaged with industry-specific solutions, services, ecosystem, and standards. Beginning with technical capabilities, I would like to talk about how you can stream, ingest data, or any type of near real-time data, manage the data, and enable powerful analytics without compromising accuracy, just to meet your service windows. We have retailer customers running tens of millions of predictions today in less than an hour every day. We help our customers accelerate their efforts, and we have certified SI and ISV partners who have deep retail and Databricks experience. And we have many custom-built retail solutions on Lakehouse. Databricks has also invested on creating solution accelerators, which are very helpful in this case. Solution accelerators are fully functional quick starts that can help demonstrate how to solve a specific use case or a business problem with Databricks. So these are free and can be used by everyone from beginners to most advanced customers. Data sharing and collaboration is a major investment focus for Databricks. With open source data sharing, we are helping the entire retail industry transform how it collaborates around data. You and your partners no longer have to be on the same cloud or technology to share data. And lastly, as a market leader for data and AI in retail, we feel it incumbent to improve data and AI in industry overall. We host hundreds of annual events, sponsor roundtables, and other industry groups with the goal of improving the level of knowledge in retail. Let me just focus on this aspect around Lakehouse platform, which delivers data sharing in an open way, right? So typically, I've seen customers on based on different clouds or maybe someone on premise. And in today's world, want to share data across your not just your internal teams, but also external partners and with your customers in a secured and open way. And that is where Lakehouse and data sharing is actually contributing to that use case in helping enterprise grade use cases being met at the same time in a secured and a modern data approach. Moving forward, if I get into more details around what sort of sources we are talking about, what sort of frequency, the capabilities. So any source that we talk about, whether it's competitive, any source with respect to retail, whether it's competitive activity, e-commerce, mobile applications, video, images, point of sale activity, distribution, customer loyalty, and basically the partners, right? And any structure in any frequency, whether it's semi-structured, structured, unstructured, and it can be batch or real time, centrally processed and managed to the Lakehouse platform with a common governance model. And then you can query it using the standard tools that are available within the platform. So the capabilities here are actually cutting across all these personas, whether it's data science, whether it's machine learning, whether it's BI, data warehousing, or dashboarding, real-time applications, which again allows your not just your internal teams to provide the data sharing and collaboration, also to your partners and your customers in a securely collaborative way, so that you can share this data in a real time fashion, right? Um, I would like to talk a little bit about our pre-built solution accelerators, which will help you, build a Lakehouse platform in a much quicker and faster way. See, we are often asked about how to optimize our spend, or how to quickly get onto this platform. And this is where we help our customers use our solution accelerators, which are a proven foundation on which you can build a full solution. These solution accelerators come up with detailed write-ups, blogs, business value proposition, detailed, well-documented notebooks, especially the technical Databricks notebooks, which will help you to build a solution. Whether it's customer 360, a top investment area that begins with understanding the customer or lifetime value of a customer, which is a hot use case. Companies want to deliver more personalized experiences and at the same time be able to customize these personalization models according to your needs, depending on what stage you are in a buying journey, right? In terms of content personalization, brands that deliver personalized experiences can compete with retail giants. In pre-COVID analysis of consumer attitudes and spending patterns, 80% of the participants indicated they were more likely to do business with companies offering personalized experiences. Those individuals were found to be 10 times more likely to make 15 or more purchases every year with organizations they believe understand and respond to their personal needs and preferences. So the important focus would be on the customer journey. Understand it is much of an art as it is a science. Consider trade-offs between performance and completeness. Like there are other use cases as well, like demand forecasting, probably our most popular use case on Databricks. Several hundred customers have built forecasts on top of solution accelerators. Other use cases around on-shelf availability. A large retailer uses Lakehouse platform scalable compute to power daily out-of-stock calculations up to 30 million on-shelf availability calculations per hour. It generates 8% improvement in their item availability. To give an example or a sense of the scale that this platform performs. If I have to talk about real-time point of sale analytics, the point of sale systems have long been the central piece of in-store infrastructure, recording the exchange of goods and services between retail and customer. To sustain this exchange, point of sale systems typically tracks products inventories and facilitates replenishment as unit counts dip below critical levels. So there are key lessons that I have learned during the overall building these solution accelerators, that POS companies who are building these POS systems have to carefully consider scope to understand and make sure the sales and inventory is in place. Instead, they can provide sprawling range of functionality from payment processing, store credit management, billing and order placement, loyalty program management, employee scheduling, and many other services. The other lesson that we have learned is align transmission with patterns of data generation and time sensitivity, because different processes generate different data differently within POS systems. Sales transactions are likely to leave a trail of new records appended with relevant tables, and then returns many different data patterns on the way. And the last but not the least, how data arrives into the system and how you process the data. Typically, what we have seen with Lakehouse medallion architecture, data arrives in the in-store POS systems at different frequencies, different formats, and expectations for timely availability. So leveraging the bronze, silver, and gold design pattern, which is very popular within medallion architecture in Lakehouse architecture and our Lakehouse paradigm, you can separate initial cleansing, reformatting, and persistence of data from far more complex transformations required for specific business-aligned deliverables. And lastly, we have very variety of accelerators that you see on the screen to help you do such things in a lot of other use cases as well. These are free for you, and we are happy to share these with you. And if you have if you are interested to know more about this, we can have a deep dive workshop with any of you. So let me just pause here and ask you a question. If you have any of these use cases in your roadmap for the next 3 to 6 months. So if you have, please reach out to us. And databricks.com/retail is where you can find all the information about Databricks Lakehouse platform. And I would like to thank everyone here joining with us on this webinar. And over to you, Ankita. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunil and Hari, for your valuable insights. So now we'll take out some time for questions. We have the forum for an open discussion now.
Hi, Sunil.
Hello. Hi.
Myself, Chiranjeevi.
Hi.
Actually, I joined bit delay. I think I might miswrote some points. So, see, my thing is that, see, as you're saying that data like where we are going to store structured, unstructured, semi-structured, that is actually good. Only thing is that this one Databricks is inbuilt going to extract data and keep it in a data lake, or else is there any third-party tool that we need to use to extract data from different sources?
To be very specific, we have tools within the Databricks platform which can ingest data automate in an automated way, which uses cloud object storage, again, which is a much cheaper in terms of your or low cost in terms of your cloud storage costs. And once you ingest the data, you can actually have something called a Delta Lake format, where the data would sit within the Lakehouse platform in a Delta format. So Delta format is in a way optimized format for not just your BI and data warehousing use cases, but also for your data science and machine learning use cases, right? So ultimately, having the data on the Delta format makes it easy for you to cover all these use cases for your customers.
Yeah, yeah. This one I understood. So, like, see, if my source system is SAP HANA,
Mhm.
and that data is sitting in on-premises server,
Mhm.
and now if we are going to build that Databricks data lake, so obviously we are going to use one cloud. It might be AWS or Azure or GCP, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So in this case, if we want to extract data from SAP and store it in cloud services, how we can approach that one? That
So for
this is only
on-premise,
my question.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Please.
for on-premise, generally we have compatibility in terms of JDBC, ODBC connectors. So our product Databricks SQL, which can actually help you with ad hoc analytics and basically give you a SQL kind of interface. Once you have you can actually connect to your on-premise infrastructure using a JDBC ODBC connection that is available through our APIs, and then you can bring in the data into cloud storage, and from there you can actually query it through our Databricks SQL services, right? So it's a warehouse that is available within Databricks Lakehouse platform, which will enable you to query your data.
Awesome. Is there any data limitations like while extracting from for example, if you are going to use some API kind of ODBC or JDBC, so there will be some certain limitations, right? Like certain number of columns or certain number of rows for each batch level. So is there any certain limitations while extracting data?
I mean, at a very high level, I don't see any limitations in terms of number of columns and stuff like that. But if you have to be very specific, I can pass you relevant documentation in terms of those specific use cases, right? If you have to go very deep technical into that.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm yes, more or less I'm fine now.
Thank you.
Is there while sharing, is there any chance that we can see some test cases like you might implement it for some vendor, right? So like how you approach with vendor and what is that performance level and this kind of some test cases where if, if there is no problem.
So you can actually see the Delta Lake performance benchmarks publicly available in our Databricks blogs. If you just Google it, you will easily find it. You can see the benchmarks. They're on top of Apache Spark, which was our core platform a few years back. We have built something like Photon, which is a newly built C++ based vectorized engine on which our Databricks SQL warehouse platform is running, which basically shoots up the performance levels for the customers, right? So, I mean, those are publicly available. If you need specific links and documentations, happy to provide you after the session.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm fine.
Thank you, Chiranjeevi. If anyone has any other questions.
If anybody is asking, please be aware you are on mute. You may have to unmute yourself and then ask a question.
Okay, so I would assume we are good to go. Is there anything else you want to cover before we wrap up, Sunil Hari?
I think that's it from my side, and please reach out if you have more questions on Databricks and Lakehouse. Yeah, all good.
Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure being with you today, and we really thank Hari and Sunil for driving this session today. We've come to the end of the webinar, and I'd really like to thank each and every one of you. We appreciate you coming here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.